Okay, how's this? Can you guys hear me now? Okay. Okay. So I'm seeing people saying there's no sound. I just turned sound on right now. Can everybody hear me okay? All right. Okay, so basically, there's no stream that I've ever done without an audio issue. So I'm just gonna start this all over again, which is just fine. All right, so thank everybody for joining us for this live stream, and I kind of wanted to try a stream this time instead of doing a video. So there's a lot of new things that have come out for the 3.0 and a lot of questions. So my goal here is I'm gonna take some questions here and we're going to try and answer them. I don't have all the answers still, unfortunately. I am trying to, get some answers from the devs as well, but let's go through the cards, let's go through the changes here, and let's just kind of see what we could come away with this. And the biggest question really is this worth the investment? What should you do at this point? What do you do with this gem? So I've saved up quite a bit of gems as well, and what are we supposed to do? So first thing is, my reaction when I first saw this was, whoa, huge change. I just lots of different colors and things look a little different. And, it took me a while to try and understand what I'm looking at. So the first thing you see here is that, there is a, they changed a little bit. So if you look at the collection here, this is what it looks like now. So we get a chance to see what the ultimate form of the card is, and then we look at the Master Collection card and the ultra rare card, and then the collection looks different. So that's the very first thing I know that people notice, right? So the collections look different now. We get runes. If you get the 6-star versions of the support card and event card, so you get a Master Collection card, Master Collection rune, and you get another one if you have one at 4-star and 5-star. So that's 2 runes there. You do get an ultra rare rune as well, though. So at least there's one you can potentially get for free. But there is a way to get a support hero, but there's no collection hero anymore. There's no historical heroes that we can get. So that's 3 potential runes that we used to get. That's now reduced, and also another chance to get a event card. So I don't see that. I think that's one of the biggest problems that people have, and I as well. I don't know where it went. Okay, so one of the things I talked about in my previous episode when I was talking about 3.0 is we want to make sure this is a free to play friendly change. And so far, I don't know where you could potentially get a event card. So I asked that question. I'm hoping for an answer there. And I will try to open a couple packs just to see what my luck is as well. But some of the other things. So before I do that, one of the things I also want to help people understand, because a lot of people got this question. So if you've already opened packs, you'll notice that you got a lot of old cards that you used to get back in the, basically the non-updated cards, right? And so the reason is because of the way they've worded the heroes that you can get. So the first one is, you see here it says 1 Slayer hero, and then in tier 2, for example, 1 Slayer hero and then 1 hero. The reason they did that is because the Slayer hero, 3 stars and above, this is where they've updated the collection, the pool, so that it has the newer cards. And no, I'm incorrect there. Tier 3, where it says 1 Water Slayer 4-star plus, this is where they've updated so that you can get a Water Slayer up to 10 weeks ago. So this is probably some people probably got a Helga, or I saw somebody got a Haldor as well. There's also a chance where you get a Master Hero at this tier. And then there's the other line here that says 2 heroes 3-star plus. This is where you'll get other cards that are not even guaranteed to be Slayers. But what I have seen is a lot of people are pulling Butchers or other cards that are very old and not very useful. So there's always that that risk. So but I wanted to make sure that I clarify this, that when they say that they've updated the hero pool, it's where it specifically calls out Water Slayer. So everywhere it says Water Slayer 4-star plus, this is where you're most likely going to be pulling the event card or the support card from the last Slayer event plus other cards. Although the thing that gets to me though is where it says 4-star plus. That means if you get a support card, it's going to be 4-star. Like you shouldn't get anything that's 3 stars. So we'll have to see. Let's take a look there. So let's just take a look and see if there's any questions so far. And I just wanted to say hi to everybody. This is really short notice for anyone who's joining in. Thank you so much for joining here. I see, let's just kind of go down the list here. So Jay, The Pondering Pigeon, Alucard, Abdul Hamid, Rooter, Louisa, Carafini, Damien, Sauron, and lots of different people. And I think I saw MTM here as well. MTM's joining us. And let's see. So yes, there's a lot of comments about there's no sound. All right. So Ritter says that potentially the card could be the under trophy collection. So yeah, that could be right. Like, so for me personally, I really want to just hold reservations until we have everything. I do want to give the devs a chance to, provide some answers. Like this literally just came out 2 hours ago or so. And so I'm not really stressed about it. And I know that people are really excited. I am too, obviously. And I, I'm going to share my experience with you guys by opening up some packs live. And I could potentially get lots of butchers and also could get a lot of, I saw some creams there. So hello, Cindy and Gabriel, Big D96, Jeremy Buchanan. Nice to see you guys. Thanks for joining us. All right, so let's take a look at the cards. So the first thing I did when the 3.0 started was I took a look at the cards and I was really curious what it was like. All right, and the first thing I looked at was actually the ultimate form, Timeless Lovers. So first thing, it's an elf card, and I don't know about you, but I don't have a single elf relic. But I don't think it's as big of a deal. So what that really means is, we can't use a relic that boosts the attack status of this card. But with the new meta now, it all uses Water Slayer relic at this point anyway. And if you were to use one of the older cards from before, that just means that you already have them anyway, and it's not really going to be as big of a deal. And so Timeless Lovers. All right, so what we know is that this requires you to sacrifice a Master Collection card and the Ultra Rare plus Dust and another Dust and then some gold. And what you get is a combination of sort of their battle skills. And here's my thoughts about it, right? So let's take a look at the battle skill here. It applies this thing called Better Together to 3 Water Slayer heroes. And the Better Together skill, it'll create 1 Water Power Gem 4 every time the hero attacks. It only lasts 1 turn and has a 5-turn cooldown. So this has a very similar feel to the Giants deck or the Fire Gods or the Dark Gods deck, where you have an ultra rare card that gives you ability to create the power gems, but it doesn't increase the number of heroes that can create the power gems. It's limited to 3. So I kind of wish that it wasn't the case. And I also saw somebody mention that there is an option to disenchant relics. I think I saw that too. We're going to take a look at that. I think that's kind of interesting. All right, so then let's move down now. So you can see now there's also an ultimate gem, ultimate gem 1. So on battle skill activation, if Noble Killer is active, spend 150 Water Slayer skill points to create 1 water ultimate gem. So I think Noble Killer is basically they've taken all the classes and they combine them into these different categories. And I think nobles contain humans. I think it contains humans and dwarves, maybe. I forget now. There's a list that's in the network app. We can take a look at that later. And if anybody can post that link there, please feel free, so that people can take a look and see here. So what I have to do is I'm going to have to probably add a chart so that we can add a link to the chart so we can remember what counts as a noble. I would have really liked it if they had this category like very prominent so that you can see that, oh, elf is this type of, or maybe an elf is a noble. I can't remember. See, that's the thing. It's really confusing. But anyway, you can create an ultimate gem. No idea exactly what the ultimate gem will do yet, but I would assume it's something like could be like a power gen 5 or 6. We've always sort of thought that this could be possible, right? So the passive here, every time this hero attacks, it creates 1 Power Gem 4. So this is kind of nice, right? So this is essentially the ultra rare card that we've seen in the Generation 2 versions. And it has a passive Unbreakable Bond. If there's 8 or more Water Power Gems on the board, increases Water Slayer hero's attack by for 1 turn by up to 30%. So that's basically everything. This is the ultimate form. I will tell you this, it doesn't feel as strong as I thought it should be, because here's the reason, right? So if you take a look at the Master Collection card by itself. So here's the Master Collection card, Vendor the Charmed. It has an arrow through its chest. I would assume the Cupid's arrow. And the battle skill creates 3 Power Gem 4s. All right. So by having the Master Collection card, you can create 3 Water Power Gems here, and it also does a nuke of 250,000%. So we all know that nukes and slayers I'm not sure how good that would be. I haven't done the math around it yet, but it so basically the attack boost and we lose the nuke though. I just realized that I think we lose the nuke by doing the ultimate form. But anyway, so the passive to create sort of the attack up to 30% is part of the Master Collection passive. But the thing is, it used to be 60%. So the last Water Slayer hero, it goes up to 60%, and now we've halved that attack. So it just kind of feels like it could have been a little better. And with the Master Collection card, you create 3 Water Power Gem 4s, and then with the Ultimate Form, you can create only 1. So it creates 1, and then it applies another to 3 additional Water Slayer heroes. So really, you can go up to 4 max. Doesn't feel that strong to me in that case. I would have liked to see it by itself creates 3 Water Power Gem 4s, and then all the other Water Slayers create Water Power Gem. That's what I would have liked to see. And then this is the ultra rare card. So she's the one that applies Heart Hex to 3 Water Slayers, and they all create 1 Power Gem 2 each time they attack. So this is why this is where they sort of have said that they boosted the power, because the ultra rare by itself doesn't actually create Power Gem 4s, it creates Power Gem 2s. And this as a ultra rare card though by itself, compared to all the previous ones, it's a lot stronger. So I do like that by itself. And here's the thing, right? I used to say, don't chase the ultra rare card. It's not, worth it. It's kind of coming back to bite me right now, because I don't have a single ultra rare for the last 10 weeks. So who knows? I might want to try and get one or something. All right, take a break right now. There's a lot of chatter here, so thanks MTM for listing out the list of noble cards, and just kind of see. How do you feel about no chance for a free main card with trophies? Yeah, so Nixie Pixie, so I think that is the question I have. I feel that I want to wait until the event starts to see if there really is no chance to get the main card for free. Before, we used to have 25% chance, right? I would have liked to see at least a 25% chance staying there. And if that's the case, then I'm all good. If it's not, if it's taken away where you now need to spend gems for it, then I think that is I wouldn't like it as much. Because I've been trying to reduce my gem spend every event now, and I would like to be able to keep that as well. All right, so now let's go on. And what I like though, I like the support card, but I'm gonna do that last. So Cupid T Earls, this is the event card. So we know that this is a basic event card that creates 4 Water Power Gem 1s, exactly the same, and it does another nuke also of 250%. So yeah, it's a very basic event card. It doesn't really have anything special about it, and it dispels Gem Silence, so we know that there's also Gem Silence there. And Cecil Maya, sorry to hear that. I know that it could, you could spend a lot of money on this game, and that's why I wanted to stream this as quickly as possible so that we could talk about, should we just go all in right now, or what should we do? Personally, I always like to wait a little bit. I take a look at the cards, and then I think about it throughout the night, and then when the event starts, that's when I sort of decide how I choose to spend, just because I want to make sure I get the event card, right, for free. And if I can, then I'll try and go for something else. But if you do want to spend, I just hope that you guys get the cards that you're looking for. Now finally, for the support, this is one of the nicer support cards here. where it will also, apply Enchanted to other water heroes. And basically what it does is every time you attack, it will create a water gem. So it's essentially the duplicate copy of the Dark God deck, except you don't have a card that will create tons and tons of power gems on the board. And so I do like it by itself, though, as a support card. An ability to create more gems is always nice. It is a nice support card, and it's empowered, so it will deal more damage as well. So that's the cards there. And what do I think? Given where it's going to come down to this, right? If you don't get the ultimate form, I think it's going to be exactly the same as what we've been doing up to this point, where we're just going to look for Generation 2 cards that can generate tons and tons and tons of power gems so that we can deal the most damage. Because by itself, the Master Collection card creates creates 3 power gems. And if you don't have the ultra rare, so if you just get the Master Collection card, event card, and a support card, which is typically what I do, you're going to deal okay damage, but you're not going to do a lot. Like you're not going to be able to do that much damage against like the Frenzy boss, for example. But if you get the ultimate Noble Killer, I think really it's going to come down to the ultimate gem. I think that's really because it costs 150 Slayer skill points for one ultimate gem. So I can only imagine how powerful it's going to be. And so this is probably their answer to not having to depend on an older card that creates, multiple power gems. I'm really curious. I know that we also saw a preview for it. They said that the numbers are not realistic, so I will, I'll bite. I don't know what it really is going to be like, but I bet you this is going to be the answer. That as you get more pink stars on these ultimate forms, it's going to be even more powerful than getting the power gems from the Gen 2 cards. Like there's probably going to be less dependency on them moving forward. All right, so those are the cards there, and there is also the Pass Ultimate. And look at that, I didn't get the Master Collection card or the Ultra Rare from that Pass event, which is really unfortunate. Now the Slayer Dust. One of the things I heard, I'm going to share this with you right now. You get the Slayer Dust by dusting your Generation 3 cards, and you have to dust the Water Slayer card. So you'll have to dust, for example, Helga. Now, this is something that I think it was Chili Dog who shared this with me. If you dust Helga, I think you should be able to also get it back from your collection. So you can buy it back from your collection, and then you can dust again. So that might be something that you could do to ensure that you have some dust. And if you've played in the last collection, hopefully you have enough of the catalyst so you can continue going. So that's my tip for the day. Although I haven't tried it yet, so we'll have to see if that actually works. I only have one support card, so I'm kind of afraid to do that. But I think that's worth checking out if you have multiple of those cards. All right, so take a card here. Take a second and. Just looking for posts that have my name called out here. Again, Cecil, thinking of requesting a refund and having my account closed. Feel like I've been lied to many times. So yeah, I can't really tell you what to do there, but definitely do send a request to support to kind of talk about, let them know of your situation. But I think that, hopefully give it a chance and take a look and see what it's going to be like once the event starts. SP Floyd 2000, any thoughts on what tomorrow night's deck would make this buy or don't buy? For me, what makes this a buy or don't buy really comes down to what kind of free options we get. For me, it's really like if they keep things sort of the same as before, where you can get things like the way you used to, I have no problem supporting it, right? And I save my gems. Like I actually gave up on buying the flatline pack and all of the other packs just so I can save a little bit more gems so I can buy some this time. So I do want to buy some things. I just don't know what I'm going to do just yet. But for the most part, I think, this is sort of my strategy. I always look for runes. I always look to see what kind of runes I'm going to get to see if I can get a Master Collection card. And if I can get a Master Collection card and I have an event card, then I might give it a try at the ultra pack that comes out tomorrow to see if I get lucky on my ultra rare card. I think the tier 1 chance is still there, and now that there's runes as well, we'll see. So we're gonna have to just see what that's guy. But by itself, I'm just gonna tell you right now, the deck, as it stands right now, has the elements of the god deck of the the earth giant deck and the fire god and the dark god deck, but it doesn't have the main ingredient, and that is the power gem spawn. So I think that if you got just the basic cards and you don't have any water power gem spawners, it feels like it's going to be a little bit of a disappointment. But instead, what I would recommend you do is you actually pair this card with Haldor, the event card from the previous event. That's going to get you at least 4 Power Gem Force every time you activate it. So you'll get more Power Gem Force this way and hopefully get more damage like that. So that would be my recommendation. So past ultimate, this is one that I think some people have already decided they wanted to give a try. This is where I'm saying, right? Like you can increase the Water Slayer attack by up to 60%. So you can see that we've already halved the attack value within one event there, and this creates 6 Power Gem Force. Right, you do have to get up to 300 Slayer intensity, but now that we're sort of in the second time around, it's going to get there a little bit faster. And again, this will also create an ultimate gem. So if you have, but it requires your chaotic killer to be active, which means you need to have cards that this card goes up against. So I don't know what chaos killer is. Chaos could be, yeah, I don't want to guess this at this point, but basically there's also conditions. So if you have Guardians of Islam and you have the Timeless Lovers together, I don't think you're going to be able to get multiple ultimate gem, just because the single boss is most likely not going to be, at least in this event, both chaotic and also noble. So that's where it's at. All right, so I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and open a pack. Anything else I should know? So let's see. Jackson Craven, I think you should do a video where I show off my favorite best decks. I could do that. I could do that this event as well. And then Debbie Moss, know anything about the past Ultimates tab in the collection? I just kind of went through that, so hopefully that answers your question. So Jeremy Buchanan, the dinos from the last event, I'll tell you this. I got really lucky. So this is the deck that I used. This is the deck that I used last time for overkill bosses. I was able to do 1 key and get 100% overkill. And I used this deck to get the ultra kill. And then I used this to do my legend solos. Now, of course, I do actually have 2 Fireflight Thoth, but I was pretty happy with the mechanic of the Smoldersaurus and the Master Collection card. I was able to craft 2 of them, and I only spent about like 3,200 gems, so I just really needed to share that because I was really happy about it. Anyways, let's go ahead and take a look at the packs and see what we get. Okay, so first, and by the way, I typically always wait until the second day before I even decide to open pack. So I'm doing this for everybody just to share what kind of cards I get. And I got Icarus on tier 1. And then tier 2. Get 2 cards here. First one is Tilda, and the second one is Farah. All right. I have 2 of the Farahs already. Tier 3, so we get a Master Rune, we get a Slayer, a Water Slayer with a chance for Master Hero, and then 2 other heroes. I do get 500 gems back, so that's good. Okay, let's see here. Oh, there's only 1 card there. So this is what I dislike before I even open it. So out of the 5 other heroes I can get, or 4 other heroes I can get, none of them are even water. That's the thing I've always had a problem with. And so that's the gems there, and I get a Sensha, Sigrid, and I think that's a Rune. Okay, and let's see what we get here. Hey, there's a Generation 2 card. I think people were asking if it's even possible to get a Generation 2 card. There it is. I got Bodana the Wrecking. So I didn't get the event card, and no Master Collection card for me either. So I will stop here, and I'm going to wait and see what the pack is going to be like tomorrow. So let's see. And oh yeah, Disenchanting Relics. So what is up with that? So let's take a look here. So let's take a look at the, I think what I saw was, no, not Earth. I think it was Earth Slayer. So you can actually disenchant. So this is an enchanted North Star that I got. And look at that. You could move it back to non-enchanted. I bet you the reason why you can disenchant it is because they're making a change to the relic as well. I think they're making it so that you can also get the ultimate form of relics. That's something that they mentioned in the newsfeed before, and so they probably have to do that in order for you to craft it to a different form. And obviously, I'm not going to disenchant this one because this one gives me a free revive, and so I'm probably going to use another one. Let's see, do I have one from water? I didn't. I don't think I enchanted any others. I don't think I enchanted the Water Slayer one. So let's see. Yeah, I just have the regular one, and then that option doesn't appear. So I think the answer to the question, why would you disenchant a relic? That would be the case where if you have an enchanted relic, you will not be able to improve it to the ultimate form. So that's that. At least that's my take on it. Is there any other questions or anything else that I should cover for this video? Let's see here. And just some more guys here, oh, and also just wanted to talk about this while I'm here anyways. So that's I think that's pretty much it for 3.0. So my thoughts here are lots of questions still. I want to make sure that we can get the answers to where am I going to be able to get the event card for free, and also what is going to be like once the support card comes. But the deck by itself, missing a lot of the key ingredients for a really good deck. I'm kind of on the fence on this one. So, I'm probably going to pair this with Haldor for sure. And then I will probably add one of my Slayer Water Slayer Halloween cards just for some, for some additional damage there. But aside from that, I don't know. Like, if I can get the ultimate form for this card, I will definitely go for it. But that requires me getting the ultra rare card as well. So we'll have to see. Let's see. Jeff Snyder, do you think the pink dust will become very important with the value to ultimate and past cards, plus using for catalysts and shards to evolve cards? So the pink dust, which is the regular dust that we get just from dusting regular like Generation 1 and Generation 2 cards, I like them because you can use them for other purposes. So you can use dust in the dust shop still to get a lot of really valuable things, right? So like I used up almost all my dust from the last event, but you can get things that you can get heroes here. This is where you can get some heroes. You can also get some potions, but a lot of people would also use this to get the shards for, evolving cards that you need. So, you can basically spend 500 or I guess 1,000 dust to get to get 20 shards to evolve the cards that you need to. So the pink dust is also very valuable there, and you still need it in order to get your ultimate form. So they're definitely making use of that. And I think I saw another question here. Any idea what those mystery tickets are for? I have no idea. And let's see here. Any recruiting tips for guild? If we do have a spot open in my guild, so that would be one thing I could do using my stream. Now I think that I don't know. Actually, there's a lot of different guilds. I think people are looking for both things, right? Some people are looking for active guilds. Some people are looking for very passive guilds. I think making your your guild info page really clear about what it is that you're trying to do. So like I'll show you like we basically kind of tell you like what we're looking for, and we try to be clear. Are we looking for someone who's very competitive, or are we looking for someone who is casual, right? So provide that information. And I think a lot of people also look for how often people are online. And if you go to a guild and you see that there's basically no one online, then you might not attract as many people. So that's sort of my thoughts, but I'm definitely not an expert there. All right. Any others? Rented Tux asked a good question. I think I missed that. Let me go back and see if I can find it. Yeah, sorry. I saw someone say that Rented Tux asked a good question, but unfortunately I missed it. And so if you could just tag me and ask that question again. I'll try and keep an eye out for that. Do I think existing cards will matter in the future? Yes and no. So there are cards that exist today that I think will retain value forever. And the reason I say that is because these cards are going to generate your power gems. They're going to be your healers. They're going to be the cards that will make a difference. And I would say that if you already have these, then you use them as the primary sort of catalyst for boosting the damage of your Generation 3 cards. If you don't get the best of the full deck like I do, then you still will use those cards. Those cards will remain useful. It's just that we're at the point where a lot of people, they may have one or two of those cards from starter packs, for example, and they may not have enough relics. So this is where I was hoping that they would also reintroduce older relics so that we can actually get those cards more useful. Generation 1 cards though, however, I don't feel that there's really any use for them. Like, I still keep them just because I have nostalgia for them. Like, I'll show you, right? I'll show you my cards right here. So look at all of my generation cards. I have 361 because I opened some cards as well. And these cards are... Did I change this? Generation 1. So these cards are mostly... Did they just... Okay. They're not as useful anymore, right? These are really non-intensive based cards, but some of these cards that I say would be useful are cards that can give you gem destroy, so destroy gems, or give you damage boost, or heal. So Aladdin, Leifer, and Leifer, or the Wicked Queen. These are still super useful for a lot of situations. Really good, especially if you're free to play. And so there are some cards that I think it just depends on, what you do with them. Others, I would say you can go ahead and dust them. Like my oldest card is, I think, let me sort this by age, that I still kept, is my Lord Drief. And I kind of kept him just because it's one of the first cards, and it's it's Darth Vader. So I kind of kept him for sentimental reasons. But honestly, I think Generation 2 is really where it's at. Do I recommend getting rid of Generation 1 and 2? So that's hopefully that I just answered that question for you. And what's going to happen to the unused runes from past events? I know that they get smelted. So any unused runes basically get smelted into master runes, and they can still be used for a master collection card. So that's actually a good point. I just wanted to call that out. So even though we're in Legendary 3.0 now, you could still use the dust. So I tested this earlier. So if you go into here and you look at the master collection card, you could still smelt. So you can see you can have the these are from the past runes, right? So you can still craft them if you wanted to. And it's just I just don't like the UI as much. Now I can't tell what I actually got. So this one I got. And so yeah, so the old runes will still be available. You can still use them. And what happened to the master runes? Okay, so I answered that question. And let's see. Unused runes. Okay, so yeah, there was a lot of questions on that. So sorry, I didn't get a chance to answer that earlier. But hopefully that answers your question now. And so this is the thing is like. Looks like it's the same for the ultra rare runes. It looks like it's the same cost, so it does require 7 runes in order to craft one, and so we can get one right not for free, but we can get one right off the bat, and then within the collections, I don't know. I just know that you used to have 9 total master collection runes. I hope that there's still 9 total that you can get within the event, and I hope that there is. I'm not sure if they're gonna give you 9 ultra rare runes, but I hope there's at least more than enough to actually get it, because there's always duplicates. So let's see. I just want to make sure I didn't miss anything. Oh, the last thing I wanted to talk about is one of the things a lot of people have asked me is Legend Trials. So if you have the cards from last event, I didn't actually try them. One of the things I did try and use was a combination of the pigs. I shouldn't really call them pigs, but the Fire Fable cards. And, people who don't have Alex but have the Soul Thresher, I try something like this: a Soul Thresher and 1 Bacon Baron, 1 Emerald Applewood. I used a Pumpkin Queen sort of for heal as well, and I used a Makwa to increase the Fable intensity. I tried it with 2 Fire Scepters, but it didn't work as well. But anyways, this team, I'm going to take a screenshot of this and I will probably post it somewhere. This is capable of dealing 3 to 400 billion hit damage per hit, and so you could also use this if you're going up against Ketsa and you're having a hard time finding a team. So give this a try. And let's see, so just double check if I haven't missed anything. So I think that's pretty much all I wanted to cover. And if there's any questions that I haven't answered, I apologize for not getting to you. You can always message me on Network app, or you can just message me directly. I try my best to answer all questions. And let's see. So Mr. Star Status, if I could voice the death suggestion of being able to empower older heroes, or at least Gen 2, definitely is something that we've already asked for, but the answer was no. We can only get Generation 3. At least that's the answer right now, but things could always change. We can always continue to give that feedback. That is definitely true. And let's see. So, and I will say this, right? There is also the, maybe I shouldn't go there, but I know that Rexers left, and I know that there was definitely a lot of feedback on the video that was made about Rexers. I'm not going to really talk about it as much. I will just say that the dev team and the content creation team, they're a little bit different entities, and I know that having visited the content team, that their heart is definitely for the players. Like, they are players themselves, and they're always looking for ways to represent what players really want. And so sometimes it doesn't come across that way, and I think that's definitely really fair feedback to let them know of, hey, it feels like this wasn't really feels like it crossed a line, or whatever intents you may have had didn't come across that way. That's something that I think is very fair feedback for them. But I just feel that just knowing them personally, I know that they generally are always looking out for the players. So that's what I'll say about that. And let's see here. Okay, I got all the cards anime. And yeah, so the best cards obviously are the fire dragons and the water human teams. So if you have them, great. All right, and don't forget about Spire and Reforging for Generation 1 and Generation 2 cards. I'm probably going to cover Spire. I honestly have Spire videos recorded. I just don't know how to upload all of them. I'm at, right now, I think, level 46 or 44 at this point on the second tower. I'll find a way to upload them so I can provide more information. And so I just want to say thanks everybody for thanks to everybody for the support, and also for joining me here for this about 45-minute long stream at this point. And so thanks. Let me know how I can make the content more useful for you, and also what you would like to see more. I know that I'm sort of slacking on the Spires and also the Legend Trials. One of the things I do want to definitely do a video on is the Guild versus Guild. It's going to be out, I think, next week, and I have a couple ideas I'm going to try out. So Toxic Blitz, there's a check your question. So I'm sorry I missed the question. I see that you mentioned that you get all the cards from Dynamic. Oh, so you got all the cards of Dynamite event. Do you get the ultimate form? No, unfortunately, you will not get the ultimate form for the Dynamite event, because that's considered the Generation 2 cards. So the only cards that you can get ultimate form is cards from starting 10 weeks ago, where you have the excuse me, you have the this is the first one you can actually get ultimate form for. Aside from that, you will not be able to get any more. So yeah, I have a couple of Guild versus Guild ideas. I do want to share them. Some of them are going to be how you can take down some Ascended heroes. So hopefully that's going to be useful for you. And can I post a link to a chart for the Spire levels on my channel homepage? I will definitely do that. So yeah, what I will do is I will go through and I'll probably take screenshots of the teams I used, and I'll put it in my channel, so you can actually take a look at that as well. And yeah, so thanks again. So thank you very much, everybody. I'm going to sign off at this point. So let me know also if you like the streams. I guess this has been really positive, And, so thanks a lot. I know that I tried to do a couple streams before, and I might do this more often as well, especially with things like this where we want to get more feedback from different people. So I'll try and find a more, better schedule for this, I guess. But again, thanks a lot. Take care, and I will see you guys in the next episode. See ya.